Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers are warned that the following video may contain images and voices of deceased persons. Akara would like to acknowledge that this video was filmed on Pitjantjatjara country and the Pitjantjatjara and Luritja knowledge holders' contribution to this project. This illustration demonstrates how the three dimensions of the Australian curriculum work authentically together through a focus on the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and cultures cross-curriculum priority.
Areyonga is a community based 215 kilometres southwest of Alice Springs. It has approximately 250 people living in the community. Our school has 35 students and 100% of those are Indigenous. Learning on country here at Areyonga School involves the entire community, and it's where the students get to experience learning outside of the four walls of the classroom. It's just a hands-on experience of their own culture.
Two-Way Science aims to explore and validate Indigenous scientific knowledge, which shows that two different knowledge systems can be used together to reach the same conclusion.
If I want to do culture, it's up to me. I have to talk to the teacher. This is what I want to teach the kids. I want to teach about trees. I want to teach the kids about water. Then we sit down and do the planning.
Today's Two-Way Science investigation is to find out if these particular springs here, called Manta Manta, are healthy at the moment.
So prior to coming out to the springs, we did a lot of work on living things, their life cycles, their habitats, how they affect their environment and how the environment affects them. On top of that, we've also done a lot of sort of science inquiry skills, so predicting and questioning.
So the question we're trying to answer today is Manta Manta a healthy water place? And is it more or less healthy than it was last year?
Daphne Burton is an elder in the community who's lived here for a very long time, so she's seen the use and management of the springs over time. She was talking to the students about the dams that have been built over the years and how they were used by the community, both for the community water source and for fun things like swimming races. Daphne also was able to tell the students about the dreaming story associated with this place. As we walked into the springs, Indigenous teacher Tana Andrews taught the students about the different plants and the different animals that are coming into the springs.
Dingo. Dingo. Papa Baby dingo. Baby dingo. Dingo Papa. They want to drink water.
So the way we were testing the health of the water was to search for the small animals living in the water. So we're going to scoop around.
There's a fish.
We don't want to pick up lots of gunk. We just want to scoop down low in the water like this, okay? If we sit really still and watch, we're going to see some little creatures moving. To use the pipette, you squeeze it, squeeze the top, and then put it in the water. And when you let it go, it's going to suck it up like that, okay?
When the students are out bush, they seem much more engaged. They ask a lot more questions, which is a key skill in science learning.
They understand the concepts a lot better and they can certainly take a lot more ownership of the learning that's happening.
Hey, I got a biggest fish!
Whoa, bring him up here to the water.
I got a biggest fish! Don't look like another fish, but we have to send it to the doctor and make it sure it's sent along to the Pink River.
So once we'd collected all the animals, the children brought them all together and we had a look at them under the Dynoscope, which is a small microscope that you can plug into your computer. We use that microscope to have a look at animals that are very small and potentially identify animals that we haven't been able to, and also to keep a record of what we've caught.
All right, so now we're going to fill out the waterhole creatures in Central Australia identification sheet. This is where we circle all the things that we've found today. Did you find yabbies? We found lots of yabbies, didn't we? Did anyone see a tadpole?
So it's really important having the elders on the trip. They bring a sense of community. They bring a certain depth of language.
What is kurchi kurchi? Tadpole. Tadpole. Kurchi kurchi and frog. Wangkang apa wangkang? Ngangi. Tadpole and a frog. It's called kurchi kurchi and ngangi.
On the other side of that identification sheet, we've got a pollution indicator chart.
Now these ones down the bottom are the animals that can live in all sorts of water.
The amount of animals in the different categories of sensitivity on that chart will give you an idea of the level of pollution of the water. So if you've got lots of animals that are quite sensitive to pollution, then you can make an estimation that the water's fairly healthy.
So look, we haven't got much in this top row this time. I think last time we've had a lot more things that we've found.
We came here the first year. And ngana yang chul tamu apa nya? Why? Nangol. Kapi bulkanga. After the rain.
So once the students had collected their data, we went back to the classroom and compared the data we found today with data that we found in previous years.
And then we talked about comparing that data over the 3 years and how that could give us an idea of things changing at the springs and also things that stay the same.
So what I think is really valuable about the program and what I love about getting the kids out of the classroom and teaching out in the bush is that the science that we're learning that is very sort of Western science and what I learned in school is being tied together with the Anangu way of looking at science and explaining the world around them.
So one of the goals of the two-way science program is to empower Indigenous students to aim towards employment in scientific fields in future. For remote community students, that can often be as a ranger in the community, looking after the environment and caring for country that way.
If you don't teach any culture, that means children have no identity. It's better to teach the kids their culture, our culture. Kids can, learn both ways.